What if I told you that a classroom can turn into a launch pad to space? A girl from Karnal who sat in these classrooms dreaming of the sky years later became the first woman of Indian origin to travel to space. Ever heard of Kalpana Chawla? Or should I mention Indira Gandhi, a student from Delhi who grew up to become one of the most influential political leaders in Indian history? Or shall I mention about Nirmala Sitharaman, a student from Tamil Nadu who went on to become India's first full time female finance minister? Different dreams, different journeys, different struggles. Yet they all had one thing in common: education gave them a chance. But have you heard of Anjali? No, you surely wouldn't have. Not because she lacked talent or dreams, but because she never got the opportunity to complete her education. She left school because her family could no longer afford it. She left school because household responsibilities became her classroom. She left because the school was too far and the journey felt unsafe. She left because childhood ended before education did. And like her, thousands of girls disappear from classrooms every year. Not because they are incapable, but because circumstances decide their future before they can. Because being a girl to them brought responsibility way before than ribbons for their dolls.
This is how it has always been for girls like us.
I hope so, but it depends on situation at home.
पैसे ज़्यादा लग जाते हैं पढ़ाई में. Whenever my brother studies, everyone tells him to focus on his future. When I study, people ask me who will help with the housework.
When we began this study, we expected to find a single reason behind school dropout among girls. Instead, we discovered something far more complex. Almost every story reflected multiple barriers operating at the same time. Poverty, family circumstances, social expectations, and educational challenges rarely existed in isolation.
Financial hardship emerged repeatedly throughout these narratives. Several respondents described situations where continuing education became secondary to meeting immediate household needs. Even when education is technically free, indirect costs, domestic responsibilities, and economic insecurity created barriers that many families struggle to overcome.
Another recurring theme was the attitude of families and communities. Many girls reported that they grew up in an environment where sons' education is viewed more important than girls' education. The decision to leave schooling was not shaped by ability, but shaped by gender roles and future responsibilities. The interviews also highlighted how family instability can affect educational continuity. Parental illness, widowhood, financial crisis, and other unexpected hardships frequently disrupted schooling and forced girls to assume responsibilities beyond their age. For many respondents, dropping out was not a single decision, but the outcome of accumulating pressures over time.
Several narratives revealed concerns relating to safety, long travel distances, and access to secondary schools. Research shows that adolescence, particularly between the ages of 15 and 17, is the period when attendance declines most sharply as concerns regarding safety, caregiving responsibilities, and marriage discussions begin to converge.
Perhaps the most important finding in this was the girls rarely leave school because they stop valuing education. Most still want to study, work, and become independent. Their ambition doesn't change. What changes is their reality because there is no one to support them to continue and complete their education.
While the enrollment rates have improved across the nation, retention remains a challenge. The national secondary school dropout rate remains significantly higher than primary education levels. Many girls leave the education system during adolescence, Punjab, however, has shown improvement with the secondary dropout rates decreasing from 17.2% in 2021 to 2022 to 6.2% in 2024 to 2025. The data collected during our study reveals that girls rarely leave school because of a single reason. Instead, educational discontinuation is often the result of multiple challenges working together. Economic hardships emerged as the strongest predictor of school dropout. Many families, faced with financial pressure, prioritized immediate survival over continued education. Gender discrimination also remained a recurring concern. In several cases, the education of a son was prioritized over the education of a daughter, even when both demonstrated equal potentials. Household responsibilities and caregiving duties reduced study time, increased absenteeism, and gradually pushed many girls out of the education system. The digital divide also emerged as a significant barrier. During the COVID-19 period, lack of access to devices and internet connectivity transformed temporary legal disruptions into permanent education exclusion for many girls. Most importantly, our findings revealed a cyclical relationship between school dropout and child marriage. When girls leave school, their risk of child marriage increases, and once married, returning to education becomes significantly more difficult. As a result, dropout and child marriage continue to reinforce one another, creating a cycle that limits opportunities, autonomy, and future prospects. Behind every chart is not merely data, it is a girl whose future changed before she had the chance to decide it for herself.
India has established several legal protections to support girls' education. The Right to Education Act guarantees free and compulsory education for children between 6 and 14 years of age. The Prohibition of Child Marriage Act seeks to prevent child marriages that frequently end educational journeys. Government programs such as Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Samagra Shiksha, and Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalayas have also been introduced to improve access to education.
However, our research has revealed that laws alone cannot solve the problem. What is equally important is ensuring that support reaches girls before they leave school. Schools should develop a dropout risk identification system to identify early warning signs such as prolonged absenteeism, financial hardship, caregiving responsibilities, or discussion regarding early marriage. Early intervention can prevent temporary disengagement from becoming permanent exclusion.
We also recommend a mandatory follow-up mechanism for every girl who leaves school before completing her education. No child should disappear from education system without inquiry, support or counseling. Home visits, parental engagement and connections to welfare schemes can help many girls return to school.
Awareness is equally important. Schools should conduct regular legal awareness sessions so that the girls understand their rights under Right to Education Act, child marriage laws, scholarship schemes, and child protection mechanisms. Education becomes more powerful when students know about the rights that protect it.
Communities must also actively participate in this solution. Legal literacy camps involving parents, panchayat, women groups, and school authorities should help in this, as they can help in fight against this evil social norm, create awareness of girls' educational rights, and enable them to remain in school to complete their education.
Our findings also show that school dropout and child marriage are closely linked. Educational retention and child marriage prevention should therefore work together rather than as separate initiatives. Keeping girls in school is one of the most effective ways to prevent child marriage.
Special support must also be available for girls facing family crises such as parental death, divorce, domestic violence, severe illness, or financial instability. Emergency scholarships, mentoring, counseling, and academic support can help prevent vulnerable girls from being pushed out of education.
At the community level, Village Education Protection Committee, consisting of Teachers, Anganwadi workers, Asha workers, Panchayat members, and women can help identify girls at risk and provide support before dropout becomes permanent.
Finally, as education increasingly moves into digital spaces, every girl must have access to digital devices, internet connectivity, and digital literacy. Alongside this, regular social audits should ensure that scholarships and educational welfare schemes actually reach the girls they're intended to support.
Because preventing school dropout requires more than policy on paper. It requires timely intervention, community support, legal awareness, and a collective commitment to ensure every girl gets a chance to finish her education.
A girl in a school is not just a student. She is a future doctor, future teacher, future entrepreneur, and a future leader. When a girl drops out of a school, society loses more than just a student. It loses a possibility.
You celebrate your clean home when you hand her a broom and call it destiny when you hand her to a groom. But imagine the light she could bring to this nation if you handed her a pen and gifted her education.